Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, first timers. Any first timers? Naomi is the first time. So before I get started, everybody that's returning, go ahead and welcome our first time. You know how we do it. Making sure that they're welcome, making sure that they feel welcome. And let's go get started. The first chart that we have, what are we charting? And for you guys, we're going to actually go through. If you don't know what the 7 steps are, do me a favor, inside the Telegram group at the top, in the pin message, go ahead and scroll through and you should see those 7 steps. I want you guys to pull them up right now if you haven't done so. And I hope it's still pinned. Did somebody remove it? I don't see it anymore, Ben. Did somebody remove my 7 steps from the pin messages?
It was just there when I was looking at the pen.
All right, so the 7 steps, make sure you have them up. It should be pinned in the top. It says 7 steps to identify supply and demand zones. Once you have them pinned, it's number 3. Thank you guys. Once you have them up, I'm going to walk you guys through. So Bim has a nice chart up right now. She has SPY, S-P-Y. All right, so for anybody who's struggling, let me see where we are in the group right now. If you're struggling with identifying chart, let me back up. First of all, where are you in the curriculum? Let me see where we are. We are in the room. What's the last chapter or the last week you finished in the curriculum? Type it in the curriculum in the chat. Week 4, where are we at? Only one person finished it. Week 3, okay. Where are we in the curriculum? What week have you finished? Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 8. Naomi's in week 8, week 7, okay. Anybody else? Where are we in the curriculum? Week 8, 8, 8, 8, okay. So at least 7 finished VIP. So everybody at least have gone through. Is there anybody in here that hasn't gotten to week 3 yet? If you have not touched on week 3 yet, that means you're just now here. This is the charting part that you're probably struggling. Okay, with that being said, let's see where we are with charting. How do you feel with charting? All right, so again, I always use my number. 1 means, Angela said, oh, that's her week 2. All right, so I got a thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, and thumbs down. Thumbs up mean I got it. Then I can chart with my eyes closed. I don't need the help. I'm just here because I like to see your beautiful face. All right. Thumbs up mean I'm good to go. Or 1 means I got it. I'm good to go. Thumbs in the middle means, you know what? I'm getting it a little bit, but I still need to practice a little bit more. I need to chart a little bit more. I still need to just grasp it some more. So it's going to be a thumbs in the middle or a number 2. Or you can type the word middle. So up, middle, and then the last one is a thumbs down. Thumbs down mean, and again, don't type it. We're going to get to it. Thumbs down mean I am so lost with charting, or this is my first time. I need extra practice. All right. So where you guys are when it comes to charting, thumbs up for thumbs up, thumbs in the middle for thumbs in the middle, and then down, the word down for thumbs down. Where we can use Crystal. I see the emoji. I didn't know where that emoji was. Okay, so I see some middle, I see some thumbs up in the middle. Anybody? So I didn't see any thumbs down. Good job. So by the time we leave here tonight, if you were a thumbs in the middle, hopefully when I do this reassessment at the end of this call, you're gonna go from thumbs in the middle and go all the way back to thumbs up. All right, anybody that was up, you're probably gonna be super up. So let's go to it. The first one we're charting is SPY. SPY is the chart that we're gonna utilize to chart. And actually, Ben, before I chart SPY, actually, I'm going to go through some market analysis later on. Let's do the charting first and so you guys to see what's going on. Hopefully, if you are in my Telegram group, I created a Telegram group. So notice I was dropping a lot of information in this Friday night Telegram group, right? As I watched the market, I was dropping market analysis, and I noticed that it was kind of bottling up the Telegram group. So I wanted to keep that to, just charting and for you guys to share your chart and get responses. So I wanted to, I drop a lot. I do a lot of technical analysis. So what I've done, I've created a separate Telegram group. It's called 7 Steps, 7 Figures. Just a Telegram channel. And what do I do with that channel? I drop my market analysis in there. So every day when I chart my charts and what zones I'm looking at, I drop that inside of that Telegram group. I also drop and let you guys know what is going to be my potential high for the day. So where do I think what range do I think price will stay high, and what's the low ranges? I drop those numbers in the chat. I also drop my standard deviation charts in the chat so you guys can see it. And as the market is moving and trading, I am dropping updates throughout. So during the market updates, I'm dropping that. So anybody that's in the Telegram group, go ahead and drop. If you're in the Telegram group, type 7 steps. If you're in my Telegram group, go ahead and type 7 steps. So Angel is in there, okay? Anybody else in the Telegram group, subscribe, drop 7 steps. And also what I do in the Telegram group, again, I'm random. I will literally randomly just hop on and go live. So this morning I went in the Telegram group and I went live. So if you were able to see my live group before the market opened, about 9:15, I jumped on. I did a pre-market analysis so you guys could understand how the market would open, what am I expecting, what levels I'm looking at. And I do that live here on Telegram, literally just start a live video and I did it. So if you were able to see the live thing, just go ahead and type live. And if you couldn't see it, that's fine. I'll record it. I haven't dropped it yet, but I'm recording it that way for people who can't join live is okay. But you can also listen to it. You don't have to watch. You can just literally listen to it as a podcast as well. So that's another thing. If you want to see where that group is, it is pinned inside of this group. It's pinned in the top, but I'll also drop it in a second. But other than that, I'm going to share that later on. Let's get into charting. All right, so 7 steps to identify supply and demand zone. Step 1, if you don't have your notepad, I want you guys to get something to write with, to write on, and then go ahead and make sure you look and see. And again, I'm recording this session as well. So I'm trying to start the record session more often because a lot of people have been hitting me up and saying, you know, I can't make it, or do I have a recording? So I'm starting to record the session now so I can have at least the videos and then the audio for anybody who may have missed it. So you guys can actually, especially when I'm on here, you guys can actually go back and watch it. And today is Friday. So again, also my YouTube, if you have not subscribed to YouTube, and I'm doing this all for you guys because I'm getting so many requests like, Kadeen, can you help me with this? Or Kadeen, can you show me this? So my thing, my best bet, let me just record it for you guys. I'm doing it anyway, every day. So let me just record it for you guys and place it in a vault or somewhere you guys can go back and access it at your own time. So YouTube is where I mainly post my weekly analysis. So as the week closes on Friday, between Friday and before Sunday, I will do a market analysis for the week, for the upcoming week. Let you guys know, what am I looking at for the week to come? And I will drop that on YouTube. So if you're on, again, subscribe to my 7-step YouTube, go ahead and turn on the notification. That way you can know when I drop that market analysis on YouTube. And again, and for my Telegram, I go on Telegram, I do daily analysis on Telegram. Sometimes I go live and I do live in the market and show you guys how price is moving in the market. All right, let's get to it. 7 steps to identify a zone. Step 1, let's go through it. Anybody know what step 1 is? Type it in the chat. If you know what step 1 is, I'm gonna let you guys teach me how to do it. Anybody know what step 1? If you don't know, hint, hint, go to the pin messages, click on it, and then you can see the 7 steps. Somebody says ID good companies. So Carolyn, that was a nice one. ID good companies, IWT. That is step 1 for IWT. Great job. But we're doing the 7 steps that is actually differentiated that will help you build on what IWT is, because some people are struggling. So I see some say mark the pass through and current price. Some say locate current price. All right. Yes, then that would work. So locate current price. So step 1 says to locate current price. Good job. That is step 1. So we're going to find where is current price. So as you can see, Bim's chart right now, she's going to try to find where current price is. Her mouse is at current price, and she's putting a line at current price, which is what? Current price is where price closed. So if you're charting when the market is closed, then you're going to locate what was the last closed price. That's going to be current price. You can even name it. All right. If you're charting, for example, when the market is open, for example, if you're trading intraday trade, which is you're trading maybe the 4 hour, the 1 hour, typically if you're watching the market, you're going to be doing your zones as they're forming. Then you're going to locate current price as it's trading. But right now, because we're closed, current price was our closing price for SPY, which is 392.24. Is that what you see right there? So we're going to locate current price, and current price, this will serve as my pass-through line. If I can see any buy zones, which is also called demand zones, or any sell zone, which is also called supply zones. So before I go through it, look at my chart right now. Can you guys, from current price and the way Bim has her chart right now on the screen, can you see any potential demand and supply zones, AKA buy zones and sell zones? Go ahead and type it in the chat for me. Do you see, and let me start with demand zone first, or buy zones. From current price, do you see any potential buy zones? Just say yes or no. From current price, can you see any potential buy zones? I see some yes. Great job. So we can see some potential demand zones. From current price, here's my second question. Can you see any potential supply zones, AKA sell zones? From current price, can you see any potential sell zone? Type yes or no for me in the chat. Sales zone, yes, 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 great. All right, so when that's a factor, when both of these are true, current price is going to be my pass-through line. So do me a favor, Bim, and identify or label current price pass-through for me. So when you can see potential buy zones and potential sell zones, aka demand and supply zones, when you are sitting at current price, you can see those, then your current price line is also your pass-through line. And somebody asked me, what does pass-through mean? I'm going to explain that later on. So we just did step one, locate current price. Step two. Step two says to draw your buy zone and sell zone pass-through lines. Again, buy zone, you're going to hear me call it demand zone. Sell zone, you'll hear me call it supply zone. I'm going to use those. So I'm going to update this too. So we're going to draw our pass-through line when necessary. So step two is not always going to be a thing that we're going to do. So in the chat, type to me in the chat. Do we need to go through step two? What do you think? Yes or no? Do I need step two? Do I need any buy zone and sell zone pass-through line? Type it for me in the chat. What do you think? And if you don't know, say I don't know. I'm going to explain to you why we need it, why we don't. If you don't know, say I don't know. Again, the question is, step two says, draw your buy zone and sell zone pass-through lines when necessary. Do I need any pass-through line for my buy zone and myself? I see some no's. I see some no's. Lynn says no. That says, I think this Gail says no. I see some I don't know. It's okay if you don't know. Not in this case, Cheryl. Okay, Crystal said not in this case. So some people were saying no. Why don't we? Help me out. Why don't I need a pass-through line for buy zone and sell zone? Think about it. And you can type it in the chat. Why don't we need it? For those who say you don't know. I mean, those who said no. Why is, remember, step two says when necessary. So in this case, you guys are telling me that it is not necessary to go ahead and draw a pass-through line for my buy zone or my sell zone. Why is that? Type it in the chat. Because we can see the lowest width. Okay, that's a good one, Crystal. Let me see if anybody, I'm not saying you're wrong or right yet. I'm just going to hear what other people say. Why don't we need a pass-through line for our buy zone, aka our demand zone, or our supply zone, aka our sell zone? Why don't we need it? R2R, I think, Jazz, R2R means risk to reward. I'm assuming that you're saying. Anybody else? Because it separates the demand from the supply zone. Okay, you can see recent buy zones and sell zone. All right, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna see, when I see the right answer, I'm gonna pause in case you can see the, okay, I see some answers right now. Let me stop. So the first correct answer, you can see the recent buy zone and sell zone. That's the reason why. So whenever you're at current price, remember the question I asked you guys, can you see some potential buy zones? You said yes, right? Can you see some potential sell zone? You tell me yes. So when you're sitting at current price and you can see some potential demand zones and you can see the potential supply zones, you do not need a pass-through line for number two. So we're going to skip number two because we can see these potential. Bim, do me a favor if you want to. Can you move your chart a little bit to the left and just take away my first visible demand zone? Just move it to the left so we don't see any buy zone. All right, stop right there. If your chart looked like this, if this was what you were looking like right now, let me ask you a question. Can you see some potential demand zones? Type yes or no. And if that was a chart, can you see some potential demand zone or AKA buy zones? No, right? So whenever you can't see it from your screen, that's when you would need a pass-through line, right? So in this case, because we can see them, step two for us is not necessary because we can see it. If that makes sense, type makes sense in the chat before I move on. If that makes sense, type makes sense. If you're still confused, let us know. And I'm going to give you guys a chance to ask your question. Great, great. All right, then we can roll back to the right now. So because I can see my potential demand zone and my potential supply zone from current price, I don't need to do step two. Step two, I can skip step two. Remember, step two said when it's necessary. It's not necessary right now, so I'm going to skip it. Step three says change to a line chart. So I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to change to a line chart. So as Bim go ahead, she's going to change her chart to a line chart. That's step three. And again, hopefully you guys are either following along or just watching if you need to. If you know how to do this, if it's not your first time, you should be charting with us. We're going to change to a line chart, which Bim just did. Step four says to locate my valleys either at or below my pass-through line. And what is my value? So now I'm going to look for my demand zones, AKA your buy zones. So you're going to look for any values, AKA V's, those little V's or dips. You know, you have peaks and valleys. My demand zones are going to be my valleys. So I'm going to go to my pass-through line. I'm going to locate any dips, any valleys that I see either at current price or at my pass-through line or below my pass-through line. So notice how BIM is going ahead now and taking a little square, and she's going ahead and just putting a little square around every valley I see either at the pass-through line or below it. You see what she's doing? If this makes sense, type makes sense. If this makes sense, type makes sense. Right now, we're trying to identify some potential. We don't know if it's really a zone yet. It's just some potential demand zone, AKA buy zone, some potentials. We're gonna locate our valleys, and it has to be either at current price. Notice how the first one she drew was at the pass-through line. So it can either be at the pass-through line or below. So that's step 4. Step 5, let's look at step 5. Step 5 is to locate any peaks that's gonna be at or above my pass-through line. So I'm gonna find my pass-through, and then I'm gonna go, this is gonna be my now potential supply zones. And can you use a different color, Ben, so we can change the, if you wanna keep one red, and yeah, that's fine. So I'm gonna now locate my potential peaks. The peaks have to be either at current price or at the pass-through line or above. So now BIM is gonna look for every peak, every mountain peak you see, either at the pass-through line or above the pass-through line. Notice she's highlighting everything. These are gonna be my potential supply zones. I don't know if they're gonna be fine or not. I don't know. I have to investigate. I'm gonna zoom in and investigate, but right now I'm just looking at the bigger picture on the outside. Let's pause. That is step 5. If step 5 makes sense, type makes sense. Type of makes sense. If it makes sense, type makes sense. All right, I see. Oh, makes sense, makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. Awesome. All right, let's go to it now. Next, I want you guys to do is, what's step 3? Let me see if you guys are paying attention. Drop it in the chat. What was step 3? What is step 3? Every time I teach, I always have to do intermediate pausing and check for understanding. Buy zone is step 3. Somebody said, check my line. So I see different things, and not everybody's on the same page. Line chart, line. Okay. Step 3 is the line chart. Great job. All right, let's move on to step 6 now. So far we've done step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Step 6 is it's one of the easiest steps. Change it back to candlestick. Step 6 is just change it back to candlestick. Thank you, Crystal. Change it back to candlesticks. Crystal's on it. I know she have her thing. Maybe Crystal has it memorized. And then step 7, which is the most important step. The most important step is step 7, is now to go inside of each of your boxes that you just put around, all your potential demand zones and all your potential supply zone. I'm going to go inside each of those boxes that you put around them and see if I can identify any zone. Does it look like a zone that I like? Is it really a zone? Is it something that's just, is it noise? What is it? Now it's your turn to go in and identify, okay, do I like this zone? All right, so let's start with if step 1 through 7 makes sense, type makes sense. If step 1 through 7 makes sense, type makes sense. If there's any question on step 1 through 7, I'm going to pause for question right now. You can either raise your hand or unmute yourself. I'm going to give about some wait time. Any question on step 1 through 7? See some makes sense, makes sense. All right, so everybody's following along. Nice, let's keep it moving. All right, let's go through now. On the first one I'm going to look for are my potential demand zone. So the first one BIM has is where? There. And typically, even before I get to that one, we can investigate the one from today, but I'll come back to that one. We're going to skip that one. So look at the one that BIM has, right? So the first potential demand zone she has is that whatever that red candle, whatever that, what's that date? July 26th. So in that zone, I want you guys, and again, you guys are going to do it, not me. Help me find out. You guys like that zone? Is that a zone? Does that look like a demand zone? Yes or no? Type it in the chat. You think that's a zone? Yes or no? You think it's a demand zone? Type it. AKA a buy zone? Type it. Yes or no? Here, I see some, oh, I like it. I see some yes and I see some no's. Okay. And again, some people may like it as a zone, some people may not. All right, so what kind of zone? For those who are saying yes, and the no's, I'm going to come back. And again, the ones who are saying no, it doesn't mean that you're incorrect. It just may mean that you just don't like that zone, which is okay. You may want to skip that zone, right? So the ones who said yes, what are we using? What do you see? What kind of formation? Type it in the chat. What do you see for that zone? If you see a formation, somebody say, yes, I see a form. What do you see? I see a U, I see V's, I see U formation. All right. So a lot of people think they're U's and V's. Nice. All right. Walk me through it. What is my leg in? Walk me through it. What date? And let's go with date. Type the date. So where's your leg date? What date? 25th. Red July 25th. Okay, let's see. Anybody else? And if you don't know, just say I don't know. We're just trying to test you guys out. So somebody said July 25th is the leg in. 725. And most of them saying 725 then. Okay. 725. I probably disagree, but I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing. What's your base? What date is my base? And how many do you have in the base? 24th? How many bases do we have? 1 or 2? 726 is the base. Somebody said 2 in the base. Okay. So Michelle, is that Michelle or Michael? Sorry, Michael. If you see 2 in the base, Michael, let me know what 2, 1 or 2. Jazz say 1 or 2. You gotta pick one, Jazz. If you see 2 in the base, Michael, what are your 2 bases? 726, 1 in the base can be 2 in the base. Okay, so some people are going back and forth between 1 and 2. All right, Bim, I'm gonna allow you to chart it. I know you can't talk, so I'm just gonna allow you to chart what you think. We already know the one after that's gonna be the leg out, right? 2 bases can be 725 and 726. 25 and 26 is the base. Okay, so some people are saying 2, Bim, some people are saying 1. So we can chart it with 1 and 2 and see what it look like, and you guys can let us know which one you like better. And again, you can chart it however you want to. If the doji is the leg in, it's a strong leg in. Oh, it's a question. Okay, if the doji is the leg in, is it a strong leg in? All right, that's a good question, Emma. I'm gonna answer that in a second. 25 is the week. Okay. Are you saying, Michael, 25 is the weekly zone? And I think I remember it is the weekly zone. I remember the scan. I think you are correct. But that's how I look at SPY and I follow SPY. See, I love this top down, man. You guys are jumping on for the week. You're telling me, oh, the 25th is the weekly candle. All right, so then put 2 in the zone. Or sorry, 2 in the base. And again, if you use 1, it's okay. It's up to you. But then that's why, like I said, top down will help you to identify the better zone, or to whether you go to the weekly or go to the 4 hour, you'll be able to see like which one is the better one for you guys. So 2 in the base, BIM is gonna if you like what BIM has right now, type I like it. If you want to see something different, type I don't like it. And again, it's up to you. I like it. Excuse me if I don't pronounce your name correct. CC, Miss Young. Say they like it. Lynn likes it. Okay. Okay. So some people like that one. So that's my first demand zone. All right. Which you can see right now, which look at current price. It's currently in that demand zone. All right. So most of it is kind of used up, and I'm going to talk about it. Price came down today and like did some. I'm going to talk about that later on. Let's look at the second demand zone. What's my second box that BIM has right here? Do we like that? Yes or no? Does it look like a zone, and what kind? So yes, and tell me what kind, or no, I don't like it. No, one person. Oh, I see yes and no. I love it. I see yes and no, and ooh, yes and no is coming around. So I see some no, and I see some yes. It's a chair. Some people say no. Oh, it's going back and forth. No, yes, chair. No, no. Okay. So people are saying no, it's fine. Some people are saying yes, it's fine. So for my yeses, before I do, let me get my base. How many of you seen the base for my yeses? How many is in the base? Not which one, just how many. For my yeses, how many is in the base? I see 1, I see 2. I love it, I love it. 2, 2, okay. I see some 2 and I see some 1s. Okay. And so BIM, you can go ahead and chart it. So some people say they like it as a chair. How would it look? So BIM is gonna go ahead and chart it and put it in the base, and you guys tell me if you agree or you disagree. So it looks like BIM is putting 1 in the base, or maybe 2, let's see. And we can chart it. Let me go to the chat while BIM is charting. So the date, let me pull up SPY as well so I can follow along on my own chart. Market analysis. That's not it. All right, so BIM chart 1 in the base. Is that what we're doing? So she has, the base is, what's that date beside that red candle, BIM? July 15th. So she has July 15th as the base. Okay.
Yep.
So that means the leg in is, point to the leg in for us, BIM. Right there, July 14th, she has the leg in. Base is gonna be July 15th, and the leg out is gonna be July 18th. If you agree with that, type agree. If you see something different, type disagree. Go ahead and type it in the chat. If you agree, type agree. If you see something, and again, it doesn't mean, if you disagree, it doesn't mean you're incorrect. Remember, we all see it differently. If you agree, type agree. If you disagree, type disagree. And I would love to hear from the one who may see something different, because again, you may see something different and it's valid. Anybody else see anything else? She said neither, okay. And again, if you don't like it, you can skip it because it may not be, again, remember I talk about balance. Let me look at that. That zone, would I use that zone? Probably not, because look at all that activity to the left of it. So even though it's a zone, I'm gonna still acknowledge it, but would I be waiting for price to turn there? Probably not, because price is probably gonna go through it based on what I see to the left, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I see the U formation below it. Okay, let's go down to it. It's a Lencia U formation below it. Sorry, let me back. Which one is the basin candle? All right, Bam, you said, which one is the basin candle? That's gonna be July 15th. Do you see that, Crystal? July 15th. So Bam's gonna point the leg in again. Leg in is that one right here, July 14th. Leg base is gonna be July 15th. And then the leg out, which is gonna be July 18th. Do you see that, Crystal? Shouldn't the leg out be further up in a chair formation? No, it doesn't matter. So yes, you want strong leg outs, and the reason why they said that, again, that means that price left quickly. Can it be further up? Probably, yes. So for those of you asking about shouldn't the leg in be further up, again, remember, if this is the zone you don't like, you don't have to take the trade in this zone. But just know that because this was a value that we marked, something is going to happen. When price comes back here, it's going to happen. It's going to either come and bounce back a little bit and then come back down. Something's going to happen there. So that's why we want to acknowledge it. You may not have to trade it, but you want to acknowledge it because, again, something's going to happen. That way you can now watch it and see, okay, as I'm waiting on my zone, the one I'm waiting on, maybe that's lower, I can see what is price doing as it's getting through those other zones. How is price reacting? Is price coming there and bouncing right back? Are the sellers in control and just pushing price through? So that's why any zones above, you want to still, even though it's a zone you're not waiting on, still mark it, still acknowledge it some way so you can watch and see what price is doing, because it will give you an idea of what price will do when it comes to your zone. If that makes sense, type makes sense. If what I just said makes sense, type makes sense. All right, so now that we've gone through that one, again, remember, you don't have to like it. You can just mark it. For me, I mark every zone on my chart. If you guys see my chart, I mark every zone from monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 50. I go to every zone. I do monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, and 1 hour. So 1 hour and 50. I do 6 different zones every day, every time. And then I watch. I don't trade all 6. I only trade one zone. But I'm doing all 6 because then it helps me to see what's coming from the top and it helps me to see what's coming from the bottom. All right. So now let's go ahead and go through the next one. So she has that zone already marked. The one below that. I don't like it. The one below that, is that a zone? Type a yes or no. Do you think you like it as a zone? If so, what kind? If you're saying yes, what do you see? All right, Yesenia, I see you. I don't like the candles in that week because it looks like strong momentum. It will most likely blow through it. Just my thoughts. All right, that's a good observation, Yesenia. We can actually, when we get some time, we can even investigate a little bit further. What you can do with that one, you can go down to a 4 hour or 1 hour and see what do you see in that zone. If you see something in that lower time frame, you can even chart those and then see what price will do to that zone. But a lot of times, just for you guys, whenever you see strong candles, long red candles or long green candles, that means they're either strong buying pressure or strong selling pressure. What you can do is you can go down to a smaller time frame. I usually go down to the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 15 minutes and see if I can find zones within that candle, because there are going to be zones inside of that long candle. And more than likely, when price come to those zones on the lower time frame, they're going to react to those zones. I'm going to show an example of why I say that. Now, I have a 15-minute supply zone that has been acting as resistant for the past 3 days. Literally, since every time buyers come up there, this 1 15-minute zone has been stopping price, and this is what it did today, and push price all the way back down. So get in the habit of marking those lower zones and seeing how price react to them. So when price comes to your zone that you're waiting on, you'll be ready. All right, yes, with 2 in the base. Yes, okay, so everybody said they like this one as a U formation, Bim. All right, with 2 in the base, how many base we got? 2 bases, 2 bases. All right, let's go and see. leg in, base, leg out. So Bim is gonna go ahead and chart it, and you guys tell me whether or not you like what she chart, and we're gonna walk you through where the leg in, base, and leg out is, all right? A lot of activity happening in this area. This is just a lot of, it's just a lot of traffic, a lot of noise going on here. And that's I like that candlestick pattern too. That's a U form, that's a W. Y'all can get in the habit of seeing like chart patterns. And again, this one is like it's a rectangular bottom. And is this a double bottom? This is actually a triple bottom. So I'm gonna call this a rectangular bottom. And what does that mean? If then let me draw it for you. Go to that red candle to the top, all the way, what you see at the top on the screen, all the way, no, to the left, left. Keep going. Now, don't move it yet. No. So that red one over in that blue, in that first buy zone. Keep going to the left a little bit more, right there, starting there. If I started here, Bim is gonna draw it and follow the pattern for me, like drawing like a W. You go down. So go down here and then go back up. I'm gonna show you this nice chart pattern that I know. Go up to that middle, right there. Why is that so long? And then come back down. You may have to use arrows instead of trend line, Bim. There's the arrow feature instead of the trend line. Unless you can make them smaller. Okay. So what Bim is doing, I'm going to show you guys this chart pattern that you guys are looking at. And then she's going to go back up again. Right there. She's going to go back down again. And then go back up. All right, this pattern is a bullish pattern. How do I know that? At the bottom of it, when it was forming, those three valleys at the bottom, those are actually what I look at. And again, this is called a rectangular bottom. Those three valleys, those three peaks at the bottom or valleys, 1, 2, 3 in the middle. That for me, that's how I know, okay, price is gonna go ahead and turn back to the upside. That's a bullish pattern. And where would I look to get in? As soon as price break those middle peaks in the middle, as soon as price close above it, look at that green candle that's sitting inside the buy zone, that first green candle in the buy zone. Go up then to that, right beside the word that says pass-through line. Go to the right, that green candle. Keep going to the right, right there. That would be where I see, that's my entry point. So once that candle closes, because that candle closes above those middle peaks, to me, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. That's my signal to go up, but I will, again, wait for the pullback, but that's just a caveat. That's me determined. Going to the side. All right, let's go back to this last zone we were charting. So you guys say you see a U formation. What is my U formation? What are the different time frames are you marking, Kadeen? Emma, I'll mark, and again, you can do whatever time frame you like. These are my preference, and it's up to you. I do monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, and 15 minutes. Those are my 6 that I draw. You can do any time frame you want to, but I definitely do the first 3. Monthly, weekly, daily is a must. You have to do those 3. And then from there, 4 hour, I would do that. So those 4 definitely, because those 4 are what tells me what the trend, market trend. I can only do market trend from the monthly, weekly, daily, or the 4 hour. Those are the 4 that tells you what trend the market is in. Monthly and the weekly tell me the overall trend of the market, long term, and then the daily and 4 hour tells me the short term trend. So I use those 4, and then I use the 1 hour because I trade from the 1 hour chart. If I'm scalping, I'm going to trade from the 1 hour chart and take my entry either on the 15 minutes or the 5 minutes chart. So I chart the 1 hour and then I chart the 15 minutes as my entry point. If I'm trading from the daily chart, then I would use maybe the 4 hours as an entry point. Does that make sense? All right, so Bim, did you chart that last zone? Okay, she had that last zone. You guys agree with her zone? Point to the leg in for me, Bim. All right, leg in, she has that red candle, which is July 12th. She has 2 in the base, July 13th and 14th. And then she has the leg out to be July 15th. If you agree, type agree. If you see something different, type disagree. And if you want to see it again, type repeat. Again, if you agree, type agree. If you disagree, type disagree. And if you want to see it again, type repeat. And I'm just going to repeat it just in case. Again, leg out, leg in. July 12th, 2 bases, 13th and the 14th of July, and the leg out July 15th. All right, most of you guys agree, awesome. We probably don't even need more. We have another buy zone at the bottom. We probably don't even need any. We have an, I like the one at the bottom though, Ben. I like that one at the bottom. I think that's the one I'm waiting on, that one. That's the, so yeah, let's try that one. That one is just pretty. That was June 17th. That's when the market went down. That was the lowest the market went. When we started our downtrend back in January, the market came all the way down there in June, and then it started a retracement back up until we saw it turn back around last week or whenever it did. So that's the low. And the market somehow has closed below its 50 retracement mark. So some people think that in history, when the market has closed above its 50% retracement mark, it's not going to come back and make a lower low then. So some people think it's never going to come back down to that one I'm waiting on, but we'll see. Maybe we can have a new thing. All right. So if everybody is good to go with our demand zones, I'm going to pause. Any question on any of these demand zones? I'm going to pause for question. Either raise your hand, unmute yourself and ask the question. If you need us to go through any of the zones again, let us know. Any question on any of these demand zones? Give some wait time. Anybody need to see anything? The lowest one you would use because it gapped up. All right, go back to the lowest one. You said the lowest one you would use because it gapped up. That's a question. Yeah, I mean, I like that one because it gapped up. Yes, that's one of them because there's a strong leg out, but I also like it because of again, remember, I studied candlestick formation. I like it because of the candlestick formation that was forming, not even only on the daily, but on the 4 hour and on the 1 hour. So what I saw that was leading up to it, I like it. I like it because of how what price did when price was going to it. So there's different reasons why I like it. But anything, I love my bases to be dojis, either dojis or pin. If I can find a doji as my base or a pin, I love those zones. And because there's a doji there for me, that means that there was some indecisiveness happening. All right. All right, I would use 622U formation, and then I see revisit from there. 622, where's 622? Right there, so it says I would use 622U formation, and then I see revisit from there, which makes this zone weak. Let me see if I see. So you would say you're saying you would chart 622 as a U formation. Charissa, if you can unmute yourself, can you unmute yourself and walk us through what you think for that one? What was that leg? You can type it. What would be your leg in, base, and leg out for the one you're discussing right now? The 622. So I presume you'll do the leg in as probably, and I'll come back. Leg in 621. So 621 is leg in. What about base? Base is 622. And then leg out. 623. You can. Now is that, and again, it's again, it's charter's choice, and Bim is gonna go ahead and do what you just said. So we can look at that zone. You guys can tell me if you agree with the zone that, and if I'm saying your name, is it Charisse? Hopefully I just pronounced your name correctly. If I mispronounce it, my apologies. Yes, I'm good to go. Okay. So Charisse says she likes the zone, this zone right here. You guys like, how do you feel about the zone that Charisse just chart? Point to the leg in again for me, Bim. Leg in is that candle right here, 621. Base is going to be 622 and leg out is 623. If you like that zone, go ahead and type I like it, or maybe, or just let us know. Give her some feedback. The base is larger than the leg in. Okay, so Cynthia said no, she doesn't like it because the base is bigger than the leg in and the leg out. Okay, anybody else? Does it fit the story of the candles? I'm not sure, Emma, are you asking that question or are you telling me that it doesn't? Naomi says not too much. Crystal says she don't like it too much. Naomi says 3 revisits. Where's the revisits at? 1, 2 so far, okay. Base is too large. Yes, same one, the same on your chart. So again, remember, different people chart different things, but I'm gonna keep the one that Bim had before. But the way you have it, I think Charisse, but the way you have it, keep it the way you have it if you need to, and watch when price come to that level. And if it looks shaky to you as well, again, you can always go down to the 4 hour and see if it looks a little bit clearer for you, and then type that, because what I've seen, 4 hour and 1 hour, 1 hour and 4 hour zones are kind of the same to me. 1 month, monthly and weekly, I combine them. Daily and 4 hour, I kind of combine them. I view them as the same when I say combine them, as the strength of them. All right, so everybody good to go? Any other question on my demand zone before we move on to supply zones?
Hey, I just want to jump in
I'm going
and
twice.
say,
All right,
can you hear me?
let's go to our supply zones now. So we have our demand zones at the bottom, all of
Good day,
them.
can you hear me?
Now let's see if we can find some supply zones.
I can hear you,
Then we're gonna
Bim.
go up to our supplies and we're gonna go into our boxes for our supply zone at the top, AKA your cell zone, and see if we can identify these formation in our cell zone.
Bim, I can
cannot
hear you.
Bim.
Bim, I hear you.
Okay, okay.
don't
So I
know.
just
Why
wanted to
am I not
go
hearing Bim?
over.
Can you guys hear Bim?
Yes.
You
Go
guys
ahead, Bim.
can. I don't know. Hold on. And you know what? I know why I can't hear you. Now say something again, Bim.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. My phone was mute. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
Take over.
So just wanted to go back to this zone real quick. Oops, sorry. So what I would see in this area would be a chair. So if you wanted to keep it narrow, I would do leg in on June 17th, 2 in the base, and a slight gap up for the leg out. Or I would go ahead and put 3 in the base, leg in, 3 in the base, leg out. So, you know, if all this activity to the right wasn't there, you know, this would be the zone. You know, now that it has had some revisits, you know, I think it is okay to bring the line down, you know, because, you know, this is the kind of the area that it's been reacting to. So just want to add that. But yeah, this is the current, you know, freshest formation in this case.
All right, if that makes sense, type makes sense. Yeah, I give it up for the lovely Bim. Even with her, Bim can't read. She's not supposed to be doing a lot of talking today, all right? And then Angel says, oh my gosh, thank you for explaining that, Bim. Didn't see that initially, see? Making some sense here. All right, let's go to our supply zones, AKA your cell zones. What's my first box? Right there. Okay, do y'all like anything in that area? It was one of my peaks. Do you like anything in that first peak? Type yes or no. Do you see a zone in that area? Yes or no? I see a no. And I guess Cynthia was an N for no. Okay. What do you think, Bim? You like that zone? I see most of them are saying no, or it's what I've seen so far saying no. And because it's right there at that supply zone, I mean, move up, right? But most people say no. All right, the next zone is one that we didn't go back to a line chart real quick, Ben, because I don't think we saw that peak. Might have looked like momentum according to people. All right, leave it alone. So the next one is you're gonna go to a 4 hour and see if you see it. Okay. So I'm looking at one that I see and I just don't want, and the reason why I want to acknowledge that one and go back to a line chart and see if that one comes up on the 4 hour. Somewhat. So that's enough. Remember, I told you guys daily and 4 hour are the ones you can use to find your zones. Daily, if you see something on the daily and you miss it, you can always go down to the 4 hour as well, because the 4 hour zone is as strong as the daily zone. And from my observation and what I've seen since I've been studying the chart, the 4 hour zone is as strong as the daily zone. Shoot, some of these 1 hour zones hold up. 15-minute zones be holding up today. And I'm gonna show you why. She's gonna go back to candlestick now, and this is the 4 hour. She put a little thing around it. So let's go to the 1 hour and see what it looked like on the 1 hour. I'm sorry, the daily. I apologize, man. All right, so the one that she put a box around, can you find it right there? That was where the box was. I see that little line. Right, yeah, extend your box. So when you see on the 4 hours, you saw a peak on the 4 hour. Initially, it wasn't noticed on the daily, right? But then it was noticed on the 4 hour. Why? What do you guys see? Does that look like a zone on the daily now? Type of yes or no if you like that on the daily. It was from the 4 hour. We didn't see it on the daily at first, but when we went down to the 4 hour, we were able to see it. That's why I said sometimes it's important to go, again, top-down analysis is important. Just looking at one zone or one time frame, you're not going to be successful if you only look at one time frame. Get in the habit of looking at multiple time frames. So now what do you guys see? What kind of formation from that we just got from the 4 hour that wasn't really shown on the daily? What do you guys see? You guys are saying chair, chair, chair. All right, go ahead, Bim. I don't think we need to talk about what the legs, I think you guys all know where it is, right? So she's going to chart it. Maybe a different color than blue. Okay, they're purple. All right. So that's the first one. And the reason why I wanted her to chart that one, what happened today's candle? Look at today's candle. What the did was today we gapped up the open and then buyers were in control. I knew that we are going to have some buying pressure. Buyers started coming in. Okay, let's go. We're going to push this market back up. It went up, it kept going up, and then it went to that 4 hour, AKA that daily supply zone. And then sellers met these buyers and fulfilled their orders and then started coming all the way back down. And that's what happened today. So that's why we want to acknowledge that zone. It has not, have we have any revisit yet to that zone? Type it in. You think that the zone has been revisited? Type yes for revisit, no for no revisit. Or you can just type revisit or none. Have you have any revisit for that zone yet? Angel said yes. He says, I see yes and no, yet none, yes and none. So far, none, 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 okay. Price almost got there, it reacted, so we've had a reaction, not a revisit. We've had a reaction. Remember, a reaction is when price go in the vicinity or as close and then leave again. So the price went up there and almost went into the, it didn't even touch the proximal, it didn't even touch the proximal. So price reacted to it, but it hasn't revisited it. If that makes sense, type makes sense. If you have any question, if you're confused, type repeats. Again, price can approach it and then turn back around. Like it was so much strong selling pressure there that price didn't even get a chance to, like buyers didn't even get a chance to go inside of it. The seller was like, nah, I'm gonna meet you. Like some of these people from this supply zone, they was like, nah, I'm gonna meet you down here at the gate. You don't even gotta come in my yard. I'm gonna meet you at the gate. And they met him at the gate and turned price right back around. So that was a reaction. A revisit means buyers were able to get in. Played possum. All right, so we got that zone. Next zone, you like that zone? The next box you have was up top. What do you guys think about that one? Yes or no? And if so, what kind of zone do I see here? Yes or no, and what kind? So where BIM is? I see advance, I see a Y. Is that a Y? Upside down U. Cynthia said a Y. That's a new one, Cynthia. Yes, the upside down V. Huh? Upside down U. A lot of people said, so I see two things. One said advance, and some people said, oh, yes, got you, Cynthia. Some people said upside down U, and some said advance. If you're not sure, again, what can you do? You can go down to the 4 hour, which is the one next door, and see what does it look like on the 4 hour, and then come back to it. So can we see what it looked like on the 4 hour before we chart it on the daily, then? So what did you see on the 4 hour? Does it look a little bit clearer on the 4 hour, maybe? Somewhat of a U. So you can see how when you're going down to a smaller time frame, it kind of gets you to see the picture a little bit clearer, right? So let's go back to the, and you can chart it from the daily or the 4 hour BIM, however you decide to chart it, and then we're gonna see if you guys agree with what BIM is charted. So BIM is electing to chart it from the 4 hour because it just looks clearer to her on the 4 hour, which is, it looks, and exactly, Charlene, it's much clearer. So she's charting on the 4 hour and look and see what it looked like on the daily. All right, so that's the zone that you're waiting on. If that makes sense, if you agree. And again, on the daily, it's not a regular U or it's not none of that, right? But when you go down to the 4 hour, it's something different. Shoot, sometimes I would even go to the 1 hour and see what it looked like, but we're good to go here. If you agree with this, type agree, or if you disagree, type disagree. If you have any question, let us know. I'm gonna pause here and let us know what question you have. Agree, 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 agree. Okay, most of them agree with you, BIM. All right, let me see if any question. When you chart the different time zone, do you use different colors? It's up to you. I think I just missed your name again. Sarissa? I get it. All right, it's up to you. I'm gonna show you. I use squares. I use boxes, and the reason why I use boxes. Notice how every line that BIM put on her chart, you see the price that comes to the right side. If you, because I chart 6 different time zones. And then I chart that, plus I chart, I'm sorry, not time zone, chart time frame. Plus I chart intermediate frame, I chart gaps, I chart everything. So because I put so many charting, the more lines you put on there, the more numbers it's gonna have on the side. So it can become confusing. So what I do, I use squares, and I can show you what mine look like. It may look confusing to you as well, but that's what I use. All right, most people agree with that one. So hopefully that answered your question, Emma.
Thank you. And
It's
it's
a 4 hour
Sarissa.
chart on TradeStation. I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Ms. Young?
It's Sarissa.
Sarissa, all right, Sarissa. See, I like to call people by their last name. I always do that. I never mess it up that way. All right, so last one, let's go up some more. We got 2 other boxes up top. You guys like that box up top? Or 2 of them? They're like close to each other. What do you guys like about it? What do you see? Type of yes or no, and what formation do you see? Type of yes or no, and let me know what formation you see. And if you don't like it, say I don't like it. We already have two of them. We probably don't even have to go that high right now. We already have two. So you can even leave that one for now. But in the event, it looks it's a lot going on there. I wonder what it looked like on the upside down U in 3 bases, upside down U 3 bases. I wonder what it looked like on the 4 hour. It's a lot of stuff going on. And it's probably looked better on the weekly too. So, but for now, it's just a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of activity going on. So for time's sake, we probably skip it unless you want to chart it. Then I'll let you do your famous charting so we can have 3 and 3, or you can skip it because we already had 2 at the bottom. It's a chair, 2 in the base. Don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it either. But it don't mean that price won't do anything when it comes to it. So you got to know your ticker. Don't like it. Don't like it. Don't like it. Upside down. All right. Bia, agree. Is this trade station? If you asking if she's charted on trade station, no, she's charted on trading view. Krista said, she don't like it that much. Yes. I would have to see the bigger picture. For me to say whether or not I like it, I would have to do my top down and say whether or not I'm gonna like it. All right, let me go down now. Let me pause. We just went through literally 7 steps on how to identify potential supply and demand zone. We didn't do a top-down analysis, but again, it's the same way you would do it. If you'll go through the monthly, you do the same thing. So you start from the monthly, do what I just did. The 7 steps, go to the weekly, go to the daily, 4 hour if you do 4 hour, and then go from there. Any question on this chart, I'm gonna pause. And then you can probably make it smaller so Rhonda can get a picture of it and drop it in the chat. All right. I mean, I think if we get at least the first 2, we're good. We don't have to get the top zone. So the first 2, yeah. All right, any question? Let me pause for any questions. Pause for any questions. Y'all are good? Oh, y'all getting good. All right, let me see where my thumbs at right now. Let me see up, in the middle, or down for them. We just did 1 chart. Where my thumbs at right now? Remember, thumbs up meaning, you know what, Janine, I got it. You and Bim is so phenomenal with this. I can do charting with my eyes because I dream charts. Thumbs in the middle me. Oh, I see y'all getting fancy with me now. Y'all putting the actual thumbs up. All right. Thumbs in the middle me. You know what? I need to practice a little bit more. I'm getting it a little bit, but I need to practice. And thumbs down mean I'm y'all trying to show off. Y'all look at me. Everybody's putting that. Y'all didn't even want to type up no more. Y'all, where y'all find that emoji at? I was looking for it. Bia said I'm gonna type mine out. Thumbs up. But need a lot more practice. Great job. Thumbs up. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Nice. We have a great teacher. I know Bim is phenomenal, isn't she? Bim is the GOAT. Bim is so phenomenal. All right, let's go down to it. So far with SPY, any question on SPY? Any question on SPY? SPY.
Kadeen,
Yes.
I have a question. I had a brain fart while you were doing the advanced formation. That's why I asked you if you would go over it again.
Okay, sure. So go back to that one. So initially it was, so from the daily, if I'm looking at it right now, initially somebody said advanced formation, right? So that means you probably would have charted something up at the top, which them is that way, right? That's how you had it charted at first? So
No, that's not how I had it charted, but this would kind of be the way to chart it. We actually charted it on the lower time frame, right? So we went down to the 4 hour. So when you see something like this, kind of candles back to back, you can go step down, right? So we found this, and on my chart, I have pre and post market highlighted. So that's why the lines don't match up on the 4 hour to the daily. So I have, these shaded areas, it's kind of light blue and light orange are pre and post market. So in pre-market, price went up as high as this, and we have our U formation here, leg in, 2 in the base, leg out. So when we go back to the daily, it looks like it's kind of, the distal's kind of floating because we don't have a wick that high during regular trading hours. So this is really a zone from the 4 hour versus charting it as an advanced formation. But to go over advanced formation, you know, usually strong leg in, followed by a strong leg out. You would chart the kind of the tops of the candles. So whichever body is lower, you chart that body, and then whichever wick is higher, you chart that body. So staying around the top of the candle.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Bim. And don't
Problem.
use your voice. Don't lose it now. You girls work really well together. Thank you for everything you're doing for our community.
Absolutely, no problem.
And is it Emmy?
Yes.
Oh, I'm getting so good at this, man.
Oh, you're good.
And Tony said both of us are good. Well, thank you, Tony, so much. Look, I go off of Bim leads and I just kind of follow suit, all right? So any question on SPY, and don't forget Rhonda, and Rhonda hold it down. Rhonda's kind of like the one that she's the one that carries all of this. Rhonda sets everything up. I just show up. She have everything prepared and I just show up. So I'm sure Rhonda already had the picture. Rhonda, drop it in the chat.
Yep, she got it.
Awesome. What's our next ticker? I want to see another ticker. Y'all ready for another
Yeah,
ticker?
it's in there.
Awesome. All right.
Take audience requests.
So before I even go to that, somebody mentioned to me when I drop, so I drop again, I chart SPX, that's what I follow. And the reason why, again, because that's the market. SPX and Dow Jones and Russell and NASDAQ, that's our market, that's the indices. So those are what I watch. I follow those. Why? Because whatever underlying asset that you trade is going to be trading with one of these indices. If you're trading Apple, Apple's trading with the NASDAQ. That's why for me, if I follow the big indices, it will tell me what my stock or my underlying is going to do. That's the first thing. The second thing, somebody mentioned to me, okay, SPX, can I trade shares with SPX? No, you cannot. But you can with SPY. SPY is the ETF for the S&P 500. You can see it up there, SPY, the S&P 500 ETF. So SPY moves just like how SPX moves. The only thing is SPX moves faster than SPY. So because SPX moves faster, so what you can do if you're trading SPY, use SPX as a gauge to see what SPY is going to do. SPX is going to do it first and then SPY follows suit. So again, I do the same thing, but for me, since I follow SPX right now and SPX moves so fast, SPY for me is kind of I still trade SPY here and there, but for me, I was like, it moves so slow because I'm so used to how fast SPX move, how fast Tesla move, how fast the Dow Jones move, how fast the futures market move. So when I go to a slower ticker now, for me, I'm just like, oh my God, this thing is just crawling. It's different. But again, use those indices to understand how your underlying ticker is going to move. If that makes sense, type makes sense. All right, y'all ready for another chart? If y'all want to see another chart, go ahead. We got like another hour. I want to show you guys something, but if you guys ready for another chart, I think you guys getting this top down all the way good. All right, what's my next ticker? I think we should do me a favor, let's do IWM then. Actually, what's the Dow? So it's SDI. I'm trying to do ETS. So we have SPY is for SPX. We have the Dow Jones DIA. Okay, so between IWM and DIA, what you guys want? These are all ETS for the actual ticker. So again, we have the Dow Jones. Its ETF is DIA. We have S&P 500. Its ETF is SPY. We just chart that. We have the NASDAQ 100. Its ETF is, what is it, NDX? And then finally, we have the Russell 200 or 2000, sorry. Its ETF is IWM. So you guys want, they say they want DIA, okay? DIA is what you want? Let's do DIA. Okay, hold on, who's QQQ? The NASDAQ, right? Did I miss that one?
Yeah, you said NDX. That's the
I did.
actual index.
That's the
QQQ
index,
is the
okay.
ETF.
Thank you. The QQQ is the index for NASDAQ. There we go. So y'all want DIA or want QQQ? Which one? We could probably do both real quick. We just walk you through. I see QQQ and I see both of them then. So if we're gonna quickly walk through, they say QQQ. Change it. They want to change. Okay, let's do QQQ. It seems like you guys. And if we have some chance, we'll come back to NASDAQ. So the QQQ one, we're gonna do same thing. So now let me back up. Do I need to go through the 7-step again? Literally walk you through it. Step 1, identify the current price. Do I need to go through that? Y'all want to see that again? Or can we just go straight to identifying the zones? And what I would do before I do that, ID zones, go straight to it. All right, let's go straight through it then. And if you guys want to, you can even, again, if you're still struggling, you can always go to a line chart, just if it makes sense. You don't even have to, so right here, we don't need a, first of all, we can go through it real quick, pass through line. Baby's gonna put her pass through line real quick if you need it. I printed them out, okay? So right now, this is my pass through line. She's gonna go ahead and I'm gonna walk through this real fast. So my pass through line is already identified. Now we're gonna go and change it to a line chart real quick. Put some boxes around my potential valleys and peaks. So I'm gonna put my squares around valleys and peaks. So if you guys get in the habit of doing that, after a while, if you do this so many times, your eyes get used to just identifying these zones. You don't even have to go through this step anymore. We're just gonna go through and just is the zone right here. All right, so we're gonna do 2 peaks. I think 2 of each is fine then, and 2 demand zones. And maybe, well, I would probably do 3 demand zones just because of how the market is moving now. So let's do a third one just for safety purposes. All right, next we're gonna change it back. All right, let's look at it. Current price. We're gonna skip current price and go to the one we have here. And most of these zones are gonna look the same just because the market somewhat have been trading the same. So far, the market has been going in the same direction. So all your ETFs, all your indices are having the same kind of formation. Even your underlying stock should be having a similar formation because the market is moving, the entire market that is moving in the same direction, and everything has been, all the indices been trading the same. So QQQ zone should probably be similar to what SPY was. So she's charting that, and you guys are, as she's putting her zones in, if you have any questions, just unmute yourself or raise your hand and let us know if
This
you have a
was
question.
pass through. So we're gonna go to the next one.
All right. And then skip the first box. And we're gonna say, well, do you guys know why she skipped that one? She skipped that first box. She had it first and then she just left it. She just didn't chart it anymore. You guys know why she decided not to chart that first valley? And if you had it charted, let me know why you kept it. Somebody say revisit, somebody say current price. Getting there, pass through, okay. So that pass through meaning that it was passed through, it was breached, right? Okay, so she deleted it. So instead of I'm keeping it, she deleted it because she said it was passed through, right? Initially, again, for me, I wouldn't delete the whole thing. I would leave the bottom line, which is, remember, I told you guys, I don't know if you guys were testing this. Remember, I tell you guys, whenever you have a zone, whenever your zone's been breached or passed through, whatever it is, for me, as long as price didn't close below it, I would keep it. That's just me personally. And I'm keeping it just to watch it again. But more than likely, all the buyers have been gone from there. It's fine. But I would at least keep the bottom line, or aka your distal line, aka your support line. I would keep that to see when price go down below it, how would price react when it come back up? Is it going to act as resistance? And I would keep that to kind of watch it. So Bim has all her zone charted. Any question on this on the supply zone? Oh, sorry, the demand zone. Why he chart the supply zone? Let me know if you have any question on that blue zone or the green zone. If you agree with the zone type, agree. If you want us to walk through what our leg in and leg outs are and the bases, let us know. Notice I'm going a little bit faster than I did the first time because I saw all thumbs up. Thumbs up told me, then you need to move faster. I'm not gonna move too fast. So as she's charting the supply zone, say leg in, leg out. For which one? Go through the leg, okay? We're gonna go through each of them. So let's start with, so she haven't charted. So for the first one now, let's go to the first demand zone. She skipped that first one because it was passed through. So the second one, leg in, she has July 14th. Base, she has July 15th. Leg out is July 18th, the same as SPY. That makes sense? Again, let's do it again. Leg in, July 14th. Base is July 15th. And then the leg out is July 18th. If you agree with that one, if it makes sense, type agree, type makes sense. If you have any question, unmute yourself and ask. I'm just looking for some feedback before I move forward. One person agrees, makes sense, you saying, yeah, okay. All right, let's go to the, okay. All right, let's go to the next one. For the next one she has, she's gonna walk you through the leg in, base, and leg out. All right,
So we
then
got the leg in July 12th. It's a U formation. 2 in the base, 13th, 14th, and leg out July 15th. So same zone as SPY. And then I just dropped it to include this other zone that we highlighted. So we included the distal here, or the neighboring width. You could also treat this as your primary zone, leg in 3 in the base. 3, 4 there. I think this is the zone, and neighboring candle. Then this would be another zone. I didn't chart it because the proximal and the distal are the same, and I just didn't want to confuse the chart. But this would be leg in, 2 in the base, and it gapped up for a leg out. So those are our buy zones.
All right, if you're good with the demand zones, go ahead and say, I'm good, makes sense, and then she's gonna walk you through the leg in, base, and leg out for the supply zone, AKA your cell zones. Take it over, man.
All right, so cell zones, we have this chair, leg in on August 26th, based on the 29th, and then leg out on August 30th. And then, so here, this is another way you could have charted SPY, leg in, base, leg out. So I didn't go down to the 4 hour, but that could clarify it a little bit better, because we see that this is a kind of a weak leg in with a small gap. So the way we charted SPY, that's one way to chart it. And then this is another way to give us, upside down U formation.
All right, any question on QQQ? All right, and Rhonda's gonna snap a picture and drop it in the chat, in the Telegram group. Any question? How do we feel? Let me pause and see if we have any question. I think they're good with charting, Vim. I think y'all are good with charting.